What is up, guys, and this is my full fighter analysis of Phantom Threads. She's a natural gold light type Fukua variant that specializes in removing opponents' buffs while also dealing tons of damage. She is, of course, a reference to one of Persona 5's leading ladies. No. And of course, we never get it right the first time, do we? I'm talking about the one in the cat costume. No, that's the actual cat! The one with blonde hair! Ugh. Yep, that's the one. So her signature ability is called Ego Strip. It gives her the ability to gain a stack of blessing for 20 seconds and remove one opponent buff every time she secures a knockdown. But there's more to it. When using a blockbuster, each blessing gets converted to a 10-second enrage and heals 10% of her health. When allowed to use her abilities at will, she can heal herself, save herself from death, remove opponents' buffs, and deal tons of damage. That is absolutely insane. This combination of damage, sustain, and utility makes her one of the best offensive gold variants in the game. So let's use the rest of this fight to discuss gameplay and usage. I'm up against two fighters that can stack a lot of buffs, so it's a nice way to showcase her buff cleansing abilities. Here, I connect with the throw, with the knockdown removing her barrier and giving me a stack of blessing. I follow through with the punish, get another stack of blessing when she lands, and finish with a blockbuster with boosted damage from the enrage conversion. Sadly, the throw whiffs and the single hit gives untouchable unflinching. I punish her wake up buttons from long range with my projectile blockbuster, and the knockdown removes her buff. Unfortunately, the wither didn't activate, so I end up eating a level 3 blockbuster. But with the previous knockdown giving me one stack of blessing, I revive with 10% HP, after which I find my range and close out the fight with my unblockable blockbuster. So as you can see, Phantom's pretty easy to maneuver. Just score knockdowns, throw blockbusters, and profit. Tricky part of using her is tracking her buffs. She's really squishy, so be careful when you don't have blessing. But Phantom Threads definitely has weaknesses. Her game plan is very easily disrupted when used in the wrong situations. Her first weakness is her reliance on blockbusters for maximized damage. Her base attack is at 11,600, which is decent, mind you, but her damages really only reach top tier levels when she has Enrage active. So catalysts that disable blockbusters or fighters like Lovecrafted will make it a lot harder for her to close out fights. In relation to this, Phantom's second weakness is her heavy reliance on buffs in general. If she gets inflicted with Curse, she loses access to both Blessing and Enrage, greatly reducing her battle capacity. That's why catalysts like Curse of Knowledge or fighters like Perfect Dark should be considered huge threats to her offense. Now let's move on to her stats and moves. She's a conventional attack variant, so attack percent, meter gain, and piercing are the three main stats to max out. A special note for Phantom is that meter gain is way more important than piercing for her. That's because she relies heavily on blockbusters to cycle through her buffs, and she already has the ability to remove armor. Nonetheless, piercing is still a very important third stat to look for. As for her moveset, I personally prefer a blockbuster heavy loadout. Drill Kick's damage scales with combo hits, and combined with enrage stacks leads to insane output. Goodnight Kiss is a flexible blockbuster that can be used both as a combo extension or a long-range punisher. The chance to inflict Wither is also one of the few ways for Phantom to control meter. The Command Grab is personally my favorite Fukua blockbuster. It has lifesteal, miasma stacking when used to secure a kill, and is unblockable. Then to round up the blockbusters, I use a Twice Shy as her level 3 just to add to the lifesteal options in case you're playing off a Blessing Revival. Lastly, I always have an outtake equipped because most teams have to be beaten in a specific order. For her marquee ability, I prefer Spectral Spite for extra damage when playing from behind. She's a really squishy variant, and you mostly want to stack offensive stats on her, so damage reduction won't be much help to her survivability anyway. For Rift defense, because she's an offensive variant, she will have relatively limited use. Though there is one particular node where I feel she can be a good defender, and that's the uppermost node during the fire rotation. It has a modifier called Get a Grip, where the defender's throws are unbreakable. With Phantom Threads in this node, she can easily secure knockdowns on more passive opponents and gain stacks of blessing. Combining that with catalysts like Lightweight and Last Words could make it potentially dangerous. But of course, as a defender, she needs a new set of stats like defense, HP, and meter gain. So that's it guys, I hope you all learned something. As always, I'll leave you with one last fight to showcase her abilities. Thanks for watching. Alright, hold up. Let's not forget the verdict. I take these very seriously, and there is a precise, scientific approach to the ratings I give my fighters, and I work tirelessly to improve on the system. Yeah, that's right, I even use a microscope. What for, you ask? You know, to look at really small numbers. This time, I'm using a scale of 1 to 3.5. And for Phantom Threads, I give her... I give her pie. No, not that pie, this pie. You know what? I changed my mind. I'll give her this pie instead. It looks yummier. I love science, that's a wrap.